What's cracking, my fandom force, and welcome back to another absolutely deep dive into X-Men history. The last time we navigated the terrifying return of the Sentinels and saw the dramatic debut of Havoc. But today we're about to confront a threat born of pure desperation and a truly bizarre mutation. We're plunging into X-Men 60 and 61, dropping in September and October of 69, for the original Sauron tale. This two-issue arc, brought to life by the legendary team of Roy Thomas and Neil Adams, introduces the X-Men's most visually striking and surprisingly tragic villain. This isn't just some standard monster, it's a deep dive into psychological horror, energy vampirism, and the savage heart of a hidden prehistoric land. Get ready, my Omni fans, because this one is a truly unforgettable ride. So, picking up right where we left off, lore keepers, the X-Men are taking their leave of Judge Chalmers. He promises to clear their names, spring the other captive mutants, and even deal with the still shocked Larry Trask. And hey, you archivists, Larry's saga actually continues in Avengers 102 through 104, which finishes off Thomas's legendary run on the Avengers. But for our X-Men, there's a more immediate and pressing concern. Havoc's still seriously injured. They rush him to a trusted doctor, an old acquaintance of the Professor X himself, named Karl Lykos. What our heroes don't know, true believers, is that Lykos is hiding a terrifying dark secret. Years ago, while heroically saving a young girl named Tanya Anderson, he was bitten by some freaky pterodactyl in Terra del Fuego. Ever since, he's been cursed with an insatiable hunger for energy, which he can only satisfy by absorbing life force from other people, usually through hypnosis. Lykos has been keeping his sinister existence going by siphoning vitality from his unsuspecting patients. But deep down he knows that mutant energy is the ultimate solution for his condition, and he's totally obsessed with finally being able to marry Tanya. So with the X-Men out of the way, Lykos just can't resist. He taps into Havoc's raw, potent mutant energy, and it's a massive surge, way more than he's ever dealt with. And the results? It's frankly horrific. Lykos undergoes a grotesque transformation, morphing into a monstrous pterodactyl-like creature with insane hypnotic abilities. This evil alter ego, a literal energy vampire, declares himself Sauron. Back at Xavier's, the X-Men are training with Lorna Dane, officially joining the team, and in making it crystal clear to Iceman that she's definitely nobody's girl. News breaks out about a winged figure, and naturally mutants are immediately suspected. Angel, being the impulsive hero he is, flies off to confront Sauron himself, completely clueless of the monstrous danger he's just flown himself into. Definitely seeing a pattern with this one. Angel flies directly into a nightmare in X-Men number 61, Comic Crusaders, getting completely disoriented by Sauron's intense, mind-bending illusions. Suddenly, the rest of the X-Men show up, providing a much-needed assist. But Sauron, feeling his powers fading and his transformation back to Lykos approaching fast, pulls a truly crafty move. He lures the Angel away and hypnotizes him, and makes him fly his human self back to the office. Once there, Lykos is absolutely stunned to find the love of his life, Tanya Anderson, waiting for him. And just as the X-Men, now in their civvies, arrive to check on Alex, Tanya's father busts in, causing a huge scene and declaring that Lykos is totally unworthy of his daughter and he's dragging her back home to Scarsdale. And back at the X-Mansion, the X-Men find an unusually apathetic Angel. When Bobby suggests getting Lykos' help, Angel shouts out hysterically, demanding that they don't let Lykos anywhere near him, forcing the Angel to regretfully knock him out. And realizing something's profoundly wrong, the X-Men decide to investigate Lykos further, with Lorna and Alex poring over Professor Xavier's old notes. This is where Lorna uncovers the shocking truth, fellow fanatics. Lykos is a non-mutant variant, a truly unique biological anomaly. And just then, Lykos himself, desperate for energy, slips into the mansion, draining power from Lorna, Havoc, and Angel, and fully transforming back into his monstrous Sauron self. He immediately blasts off to Scarsdale, dead set on killing Dr. Anderson, but the X-Men are already waiting. Witnessing Tanya's horrific reaction to his brutal actions, Sauron experiences a brief, gut-wrenching flash of humanity and grasps the immense evil he's become. He flees, trying to escape back to Tierra del Fuego to die. Tanya, sensing his destination, secretly follows him, and upon seeing her, the starving Lykos knows his ravenous hunger would mean the death of her. And in a final desperate act of self sacrifice, he hurls himself off a mountain cliff. The X-Men who were secretly trailing Tanya manage to save her from jumping herself. But it's tragically too late for Karl Lykos, bringing a poignant end to the Sauron saga. For now. And for you archivists, the story of Lykos and Tanya does actually pick up again in Marvel fanfare 1 through 4, beyond a brief X-Men The Hidden Years appearance. And that, lore keepers, is the heartbreaking, intense conclusion of the original Sauron tale. This arc was a powerful dive into the tragic villainy of Karl Lykos, a man cursed by circumstances, driven by love, and ultimately consumed by his own desperate hunger. The raw emotion, the stunning Neil Adams artwork, and the sheer originality of it all makes this a truly unforgettable chapter in the X-Men history. This storyline proved that the X-Men weren't just fighting superpowered baddies, they were confronting the complex and often tragic consequences of immense power and overwhelming desperation. It's a fantastic example of the kind of psychological depth these comics were reaching even back in the late 60s. This story sets the stage for so much more mutant madness to come, confirming that the X-Men world is packed with incredibly compelling characters. And with these month's mighty moments mastered, we'll see you in the next installment of The Mutant Chronicles.